Okay, so to get started, I'd like for each of you to take just 2 or 3 minutes, introduce yourself, tell us what you've been doing the last 10 years and what your general focus is. Any order is fine.
Okay, I'll jump in first. I just drove almost 2,000 miles. I have a vehicle full of plant material, figs, mulberries, aloe vera plants, even some Bodhi tree material that I'm going to be cloning and growing all around this house here in Texas. I had to move out of California. I've been there since 1980. And it's just an oppressive business environment. I want to be in a happy environment where you can actually run a business and the government isn't constantly knocking at your door. So I moved to Texas, very excited about it. What I've been doing the last about 3 or 4 years is really focusing on bringing people through detoxes and cleanses and a lot of water fasting. And that's one thing that Gabriel and I just love so much is when you really get right down to the brass tacks. It's all about the cleansing and the fasting, and especially the water fasting, which has been a really fun thing for all the groups we've been leading over the years. And I want to get into that. You can't just jump into it, of course. You have to work at it and you get better at it as time goes on. But it's been the big focus. Obviously, I'm still bringing people to vegan and raw food, especially with those detoxes. And it's been really an interesting process of just changing my approach, especially with social media, because it's not as a free of an environment. They censor you. I got deleted off of YouTube in 2017 for no reason, no strikes, no warnings. So I'm trying to just bring that message out in different ways now through different types of social media. Still having a lot of fun doing it. So that's what I've been doing the last 10 years.
Okay, I'll go next.
Go next.
I'm very pleased to be on this panel. And Steve, thank you for inviting us here. I can't remember the last 10 years. No, seriously, it's been pretty busy. Creating books. My latest book, Into the Nothing, is my 13th book. We just moved to Israel from Patagonia, Arizona, where I've been since 1993. Had a holistic health center there. And now we're kind of reaching out more worldwide, and still, of course, with all the conferences and stuff, the internet works quite well. I'm guided by what feels like my mission at that time. So my mission was to do the community in Arizona from 1993 till now, so it's quite a few years. And now it's not clear, but I just know it's something I need to do. In the meantime, spending a lot of time teaching, mostly with spiritual work. And also right now we're running a fast. This is the fourth day of a fast. It's interestingly enough, and I'm of course fasting with the group. My wife and I are doing that. And like David said, for me, everything is a spiritual joy. So we're doing a lot of spiritual teaching, awakening the Kundalini energy and the spiritual energies in different ways. Like David, I've been doing shamanic work, since the 70s, doing a lot of work that is a little bit more esoteric, dealing with a variety of things that affect people that aren't usually talked about. And at the same time, myself, I'm about 99% live food diet. And I just one meal a day at this point. My weight stays the same. And contrary to like some people are saying, oh, if you're vegan, you're going to be weak and emaciated. This morning I did my usual 1,350 push-ups. So I'm here almost as in a sense, a testimony to the power of the live food vegan diet as something that if you balance it right, with the right understanding, you can get stronger, more flexible, and continue to have a good time. You got to have a good time. That's really important. Spiritual joy is key to everything. If you aren't enjoying it, then you have to look at that.
All right, I guess it's my turn to go. Well, thank you, Stephen, and everybody else who's involved with this program for inviting me again back this year. last 10 years has just been a joy as well. We're taking our Sanjevani Integrative Medicine Health and Lifestyle Center to another level. I wrote a book called An Inflammation Nation in 2016, and it was very popular. It was very important, but even more so this last year, 2020, the world came to the understanding, inflammation from a virus called COVID. And so, even more so important of looking at plant-based diets, lowering inflammatory responses, increasing immune system functioning. So that's what I focus on in my practice. I use an integrative medicine, evidence-based approach. And we use a lot of functional, we use a lot of traditional Ayurvedic, Chinese medicine, acupuncture, a lot of things that David and Gabriel would also kind of speak about or also incorporate somewhat in their practices as well. But from my perspective, what we look at is in the last 10 years is formulation of products, looking at clinical trials and kind of pushing the envelope of making not only just food as medicine, but how do we take plant medicines more further. And how we can establish and bring about traditional medicines that have been used around in cultures for centuries or millennia, as we would say, and bring them to light of there's a wisdom in the plants, there's a wisdom in historical use of natural medicines. And so as long as we can look at the potency, purity, safety, and efficacy is what we do, and kind of introduce it more from a scientific way of doing clinical studies and trials and publications, then it really kind of advances this whole idea of like eating your food as medicine, but also sometimes you need to use those medicines that are coming from foods rather than just from pharmaceuticals.